How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to On The Ball. Welcome back for some more season predictions for you guys today. We made our predictions before the season, and that was before the transfer window did slam shut. Now we've seen some of the teams, we've seen all the teams play, and we've seen every single bit of business each and every club has done in the transfer window. So we've made our revised predictions. Well, some have made revised predictions anyway. We'll get into it in a second.
Well,
but
no turning back now. This is your last chance to predict something, so you better get them all in.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll start off with we've got player predictions and we've got team predictions. So we'll start off with the player predictions and we'll start off with Sims.
Yeah, I've only made one change from the player predictions. Sancho is my surprise package, which, look, you never know, never say never, but I'm looking at the argument he's having with Ten Hag right now, and I'm thinking maybe it's not going to be Sancho. So I've actually gone with Danjuma. Really good start for Everton at the moment. He's on one goal. I've actually been really impressed with a lot of his performances as well. He's been quite unfortunate not to be more than a goal in, and I think people might be surprised by how well he does. He could get into double figures of goals if he's lucky. I'm liking the look of him. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with my predictions so far. I'm gonna stick by them. So I've not got too much to change when it comes to player predictions.
Yeah, I like your predictions apart from Harvey Barnes in flop of the season. I think that's a bit too much. I mean,
he's struggling at the moment. I think he's struggling.
I think there are many more players that are struggling more than him, to be honest. Yeah, but there are many more players that are struggling more than him. So, look, let's move on to my predictions. I have changed quite a bit. Player of the season, Kane obviously ain't in the league anymore, so the obvious choice is Erling Haaland, who I've predicted for Golden Boot. He's already started the season on fire, so I think he's pretty much the obvious choice. I changed my surprise package of the season from Nicholas Jackson to Destiny Udogie. I think Destiny is, by the end of the season, everyone's going to be calling him the best left back in the league. I think he started off this season like a house on fire as well. 20 years old, he's taken to the Premier League like a duck to water. Offensively, defensively, he's got everything in his game. And playmaker of the season, seeing as Kevin De Bruyne has got a long-standing injury, I've gone for the obvious choice in James Maddison.
You already gone off Jackson after 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, he's missing too many chances for me.
He scored against Luton.
I know, yeah, Luton. Everyone's going to score against Luton.
Didn't have the foresight to get to put Maddison before the season.
Yeah, look, if I didn't have the foresight to know that Kevin De Bruyne would be out for 6 months.
Maddison is just going to get loads of assists, mate. It's all on Maddison.
Yeah, he will, 100%. But I think if De Bruyne was fit for the whole season, he would have got more.
Fair enough. All right, so we're going into the team predictions?
Yeah, let's go for yours first. One change only, and let's see what that is.
Yeah, I'm keeping it pretty simple. I think, I'm looking at Man United right now, and they're a bit of a mess. So, if anything, I would have swapped them for FA Cup winners, because maybe later in the season they might get their act together. I don't think they're going to get their act together soon enough to win the League Cup. So I've put that for Liverpool, who I'm really liking the look of right now. But I'm not sure about United. I think they're too much of a mess. Other than that, I've kept it. I'm liking my Fulham pick. I'm liking. Well, Bournemouth haven't had the best start, but I reckon they'll turn it around. PL winner City. So I'm happy to keep the rest the same, to be honest.
I think you're going to like my picks.
Oh, wow. A lot of changes.
A lot of changes on my picks. Let's have a look at them. So overachievers, I've changed it from Burnley to Tottenham. So the reason I've gone for Tottenham is because we finished 8th in the league last year. Nobody gave us a chance in hell to finish in the top 4 to get Champions League football this season. And I'm predicting Spurs are going to finish in the top 4, potentially top 5. And if that happens, that is an overachievement for what people thought coming into this season. So I've gone for Tottenham as the overachievers. For the underachievers, I've changed it from West Ham, who I think have made a really impressive start to the season. So I'm trying to backtrack on that one. And I've changed it to Newcastle. I know, everyone will say, oh, you're just going on that because they've lost 3 games on the bounce and they've had a bad start to the season. But I'm looking at them. I think their strength in depth isn't that great. With a really hard Champions League group as well, I've just got a feeling with them finishing in the top 4 last season that they can drop out of Champions League football and potentially even Europa League football as well. So I've gone for Newcastle to be the underachievers. PL winner, standard, Man City. I've changed my FA Cup winner from Chelsea to Man City. So I've gone for Man City to win the double. And I'm with you as well on the League Cup winner. I've changed it from Tottenham, who are out already, to Liverpool.
The quickest anyone's got a prediction wrong, I think, that Tottenham win the League Cup. Probably a few days, that one. Yeah, I like those predictions. Newcastle, yeah, interesting. You reckon they're going to finish low down? Look, to be fair, I've also predicted them to have a bit of a slump, so I'm with you on that. But Spurs, the biggest overachievers. I'm sure no club bias there.
Yeah, not at all.
Not
at all. But look, at the end of the day, like, Spurs have started the season much better than anyone could have hoped. Not even just from inside of Tottenham, from outside of Tottenham as well. One game a week till the end of the season, essentially, now, without being in the League Cup and without being in Europe. If we can stay injury-free, I don't see why we can't finish in the top 4 this year.
Fair enough.
All right, let's go on to the revised table predictions, and let's start off with Sims.
All right, so in terms of bottom half, relegation, I've gone for the same 3 teams to be relegated, but I've moved Luton to bottom, and I've moved Wolves to 18th, Sheffield United to 19th. I still reckon they go down, but I think I've seen enough of Luton to suggest that I don't think they're going to be even close to staying up this season. I've kept Fulham where they are. The only major changes, I've moved Palace a bit higher, Everton a tad lower, Burnley have made a less than impressive start, so they're down in 15th, but I still got them staying up. Bournemouth, I moved 1 place down, and West Ham have gone now into the top half for me after their impressive signings. You've got to remember, when we made these predictions, I think West Ham hadn't signed a player yet, so that's why they were so low. But given their signings and their impressive start, I've now put them in the top half. But other than that, it's fairly similar, not too many major changes. Brentford now entering the bottom half.
Interesting. Let's go and have a look at the top half, what you've done.
And if I look at the top half, I've moved Villa down to 10th, West Ham now going into 9th. I've moved Brighton ahead of Newcastle now into 7th, with Newcastle going into 8th. Chelsea remaining 6th. I've swapped Tottenham and Man United around, so Spurs going to 4th and Man United going to 5th, but I've kept the top 3 the same. So major changes, Brighton getting a bit of a bump, Newcastle going a bit lower, and Tottenham going to the top 4.
So it's interesting that, just bring that up again for 1 sec. Just want to see it on the preview. Fine. You've got Tottenham in the top 4, so that fits my overachievement narrative. And you've got Newcastle down in 8th, so that also suits it, to be honest.
100%. If that's what happens, yeah, you would have a good case.
Where have you got Bournemouth finishing?
12th.
12th there.
Bournemouth in 12th, and I've got Fulham in 17th, who are my over and underachievers.
Yeah. All right. In terms of my Premier League table predictions, I did not look at my old predictions. I just went straight fresh and to see where we go. And I was waiting for the video to make the comparison. So let's go and have a look at the bottom half. I've got Luton the same. I've got Wolves staying up now in 16th, where I put them in 19th last time. I got Sheffield United with a place down in 19th. I've got Burnley, who I had in 14th, going down as well.
Wow, okay, wow, big change.
So basically, I've got everyone that had come up going down. I just think Burnley are just a bit too naive, and I think most teams, if they come up and try and play their football, they do go straight back down, and I've got a feeling it will happen with Burnley. I've dropped Everton a little bit from 16th down to 17th. Wolves, I've gone from 19th to 16th. Fulham, 15th, where I had them in 12th last time. Bournemouth, I've got in 14th, where I had them in 11th last time. Forest, I've got in 13th, which I had them in 17th last time. I've really liking the look of Forest, to be fair, start of the season. Crystal Palace, I've jumped them from 15th to 12th, and Aston Villa, I've got them from a top half finish down to 11th. Ooh. So where did I have Villa? 9th. I had them in 9th. So quite a significant drop, and I actually think that Europe will hurt Villa at some point. But if I look at the top half predictions, I've got Brentford in the exact same position. I've got West Ham coming up from the bottom half of the table to 9th. I've got Chelsea finishing 8th, where I had them in 6th. I've got Newcastle in 7th, where I had them in 7th. Manchester United, I had them in 3rd, and I've got them down in 6th. And I've actually gone for Brighton to finish 5th, quite amazingly, to get Champions League football next season. That would be some overachievement. Or maybe I should have put Brighton as overachievers of the season, to be fair. But I don't know. I just don't have such a good feeling about Man United, Newcastle and Chelsea. And Brighton seem to be smashing teams, to be honest, albeit they did lose one game quite convincingly. But I think the way Brighton are going, I just feel like they're going to have a better season than all 3 of the teams that I've put below them. I've got Tottenham in 4th. I've dropped Arsenal down to 3rd from 2nd. I've risen Liverpool up from 4th to 2nd.
So you're getting on the Liverpool train, are you?
Yeah, I mean, I said it to you on the video where we were talking about Liverpool, which I think they'll finish 2nd, but I just don't think that they'll come close to the title, which I still stand by that. And with Manchester City is Manchester City, so I've got them to win the league. So those are my revised predictions for the league table. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think they're pretty solid. It's interesting that you've gone for Newcastle underachievers, but you had them in the same place you had them before.
Yeah.
So they haven't moved. But I think, Liverpool, I think that makes sense for me. I had them second before the season started. West Ham, I think into the top half. That makes Villa bottom half though. You really not excited about Villa now after their start to the season?
It's an interesting one with Villa, but I just thought that maybe I was toying between Brentford and Villa, which way they're going to finish. But I just think that Brentford, with only one game a week, pretty much, not in Europe, with the team playing really well, I just got a feeling they might just finish above Aston Villa.
Okay. Brighton in 5th as well. It's a big shout. It could potentially mean Champions League football for them, which would be massive. I think Brighton are doing well now, but I'm waiting to see when Europa League kicks in how that affects them.
Thing is, with Brighton, they've just got options all over the pitch. They've got actually quite a big squad when you look at it, especially in the front line. I mean, they've just got we talk about Man City and Pep roulette, but I mean, I'm seeing De Zerbi roulette and players coming in and not really making a difference for Brighton. So if that can carry on throughout the season, maybe Europe won't even hurt them.
I think it will. I think it will hurt them because I think the way they play football, I know that they can make changes, but still the quality does make a difference. And I think their squad is good, but I think the quality, how it's spread out throughout the squad, I think it will make a big difference, especially if they start picking up a few injuries here and there and they have to rotate. So I think they're great, and I'm loving Brighton. I don't think they'll finish 5th. I still think United will get their act together at some point, and they still got good players, United. But I think when I made my prediction for them to be in the top 4, that was obviously with Sancho contributing. That was obviously with Anthony as well being involved and maybe being better than last season, which he hasn't been so far. And with those two now out for the foreseeable, it's going to be very also Luke Shaw, he's going to be out for a long time. So I just got a feeling United are a bit of a mess, but I think Ten Hag's still a good manager. I think he'll find solutions, but it might take him a bit of time.
I don't think he lasts the season.
Don't think he lasts. You reckon he gets sacked?
Yeah, I think he's getting sacked this season, Ten Hag.
What month?
I'm going to go for about January, February time.
Wow, January, February. I think he'll last the season.
I don't know. He just doesn't cut a happy figure for me, Ten Hag. And you know how these things usually end. Things just seem to getting bad to worse for Manchester United with all these players going down and Ten Hag not seemingly happy, not with the strongest squad either. So
what about Poch?
Poch, will he last the season?
If Chelsea finish 8th?
If Chelsea are clever, they'll keep Poch. If the hierarchy is clever about it and Todd Bowley knows what's good for the club, he'll keep Poch beyond this season no matter where they finish. Even if they finish in the bottom half, they should keep Poch because he's got too much of a young squad there. They need time to really gel as a squad, and they need time for Poch to really kind of build these players and get his ideas across completely. If they're smart, they're going to keep Poch no matter what happens this season. But, anything can happen with Todd Bowley. Literally.
If they finish 8th, I reckon the fans are going to be like, oh, we need another rebuild. We finished 8th last season. We need a bunch of new players again. And it'll be, I don't know. I think if they finish 8th, the pressure's going to be really on him.
Yeah, but I think they look at Arteta and Arsenal in that model. And, when Arsenal weren't going great and the Arsenal fans were calling for Arteta's head, they stuck to their guns. They stuck strong. They kept Arteta, and they're reaping the rewards now.
Yeah, but they didn't do it last season, did they, Potter? They end up letting him
go. I know.
So we'll see. I think if they finish 8th, I think a lot of knives will be out for Pochettino, in my opinion, if they finish 8th.
Yeah, I think there will be knives out for him. And I can't say if they're going to stick with him or not, but I'm just saying if they're smart, they would stick with him. But those are our predictions for the season. That is it now. They're all locked in. Can't be changed.
Any last minute changes? You sure? Anything you want to go with?
Let me just quickly think.
Now or never. Now or never.
I mean, I could put overachievers as Brighton, seeing as I've put them in 5th, but I'll just stick it with Tottenham and be a bit biased. So I'm happy with that. But let me know in the comment section below what your predictions are. Have you rethought anything since the start of the season, since the window has slammed shut? Let me know in the comment section below. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.